I am so glad you came back to Grow with Miss Nancy, because we are talking about this really cool story about Esther and Mordecai. And last week we talked about how Haman was so angry with Mordecai because of the fact that he wouldn't bow down to him, and then he got honored by King Xerxes, and Mordecai was the one sitting on the horse and not Haman, and Haman had to walk along with him and say, this is what the king does for awesome people. And I'll tell you, Haman was really upset. He hated Mordecai so much that not only did he want to get rid of Mordecai, but he also wanted to get rid of all the Jewish people in the whole empire. I need you to help me tell this story, okay? Because we're going to do some hand motions to do that. So Haman decided he was going to offer to the king 175 tons of silver to pay for getting rid of these people who were really, what he said, not doing what the king wanted them to do, because they believed in another god, and they didn't worship the way that all of the other people that were not Jewish did. And he would be willing to pay for their extermination. In other words, killing them all off. Well, the king thought, well, if they're not doing what they should be doing anyway, okay. And do this with me. The king took off his ring. Now that ring had some funny little bumps on it that said that this is the king. And you would use it to seal wax over a scroll that would prove that this was from the king. And he took that ring off and he handed it to Haman. So take the ring off your finger and act like you're handed it to Haman. And now Haman can have written whatever he wants, and it would be as if it was coming from the king. And do like this, because Haman's a bad guy, so you know how bad people do, like this and go, hey, 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 hey. So do this with me, yeah. Well, he had that written, and it went all over the kingdom that on the 13th day of the 12th month, all of these people who were of Jewish descent could be killed. Well, when Mordecai heard that, oh no, this was a terrible thing. Oh no, how are they going to get out of this? And back then, when you were mourning, you would put on sackcloth, meaning some really scratchy, burlappy-like clothes, and put ashes on your head. And everybody who looked at you, they knew that you were upset and you were sad and you were worried about something. And remember, he sat in the gate of the palace so that he was an official, and so other people saw him doing that. And the messenger went and told Queen Esther, your cousin is mourning about something. So she had that messenger go back and say, what in the world's going on? And Mordecai said, look what's going on, and I want you to see this that has been gone out, this law that says at this date, we're all going to be killed. Well, that was a terrible thing. And Esther was realizing, oh no, what are we going to do? And Esther said, what are we going to do to Mordecai? And Mordecai sent a message back to Esther and said, don't think that because you are living in the palace that your life will be spared. When they find out that you're Jewish, you will be killed too. And you need to help. Well, cross your arms. This is how Esther was. Oh no, I can't do that. I can't go talk to the king. You can only go talk to the king if you're invited. You don't just show up. If you just show up, you could be killed, unless the king takes his golden scepter, which is like that rod, kind of like a big stick that he rules with. And if he points it at you, then that means it's okay. But if he does not, he's going to have people come in and kill you. And Esther's like, I just can't do this. And Mordecai sent the message and said, maybe you were put in the place of the queen for such a time as this to save your people. Esther went, oh my goodness, you probably are right. And she said, okay, and do this with me. So she said, have all of the people for 3 days fast and pray for me, and I will go before the king, and if I perish, I perish. What does perish mean? It means she would die. If I die, I'll die. So she was ready. We're going to find out next week what happened, okay? So be sure you're here next week. What is our big message? What is our big idea for this week? God gives us support behind the scenes. What kind of support is Esther giving? All of the Jewish people for 3 days are going to fast and pray for her, that God will give her favor, that the king will allow her to be able to ask for what it is she needs to ask for, which is to spare the lives of the Jewish people. Do you have support? Sure you do. Have you ever asked anybody to pray for you when you were in a tight spot, or you needed some help, or if you were sick? God will provide people in your life to help support you. All you have to do is ask for help. All you have to do is ask for people to pray for you. So don't be shy about that. That is really important. God has set these folks up to be your support. Use them when you need it, and you be support for somebody else when you see that they need your help too. Okay? Good to see you. I'll see you next week, and we'll find out the end of this story. Bye-bye.